Hey everybody. Alright, so I've been trying off and on to get this video done. And hold on. Yeah, you're always yelling at me, but there's nothing over there, I promise. My van, y'all, my van. Anyway, so at oh my god o'clock in the morning, as you know from the previous video, I went to Nicole's for the IEP meeting, virtual IEP meeting, and a cup of coffee. Thank God for coffee. And the meeting went fantastic. My oldest is living in Georgia, is doing fantastic in school. She's passing her classes straight out the gate. She's doing everything that we have fought hard to get her to do, which is, all in all, self-advocating. Because mommy and daddy can't do that forever. Not for lack of trying sometimes. But, gotta learn to be independent. And so, let's see. Yes. It's been a very long day. So my child took their first test in physics, knew the material, okay? Verified by the teacher. Knew the material, had great notes to use for the test. Had the right formulas, everything. Everything my child could possibly have to prepare for this test, she had. She took the test. She knew the material. Okay, she's very animate about it. She knew that material. She failed the test. She's bummed. She's like, she got a hold of Nicole. She's like, Mom, I knew the material. I had the notes right there, and I knew the material. Which tells us only one thing. Test anxiety hits. Now, my child has always had issues with taking tests. That's why it's always been written in the IEP to allow for some modifications in regards to test taking, whether it's giving her extra time or allowing her to sit apart from everybody or go into a separate room away from people, to wear headphones, noise canceling headphones, whatever it takes to get her through the test, let her do. And there's been a huge difference, because she started passing her tests more. So here it is. It's the first test of the year. It's physics, which is great. Okay, physics is complicated. It can be complicated because you've got a mix of slightly more advanced math. You've got your algebra mixed in there and stuff like that. I don't know a whole lot about physics, but I did look up I'll admit it, I did a Google search because I wanted to know what kind of physics they're teaching in high schools these days, because I don't know. I didn't take physics. I couldn't get much past basic math. And so, there were a couple of really good videos, that I found on YouTube that were discussing, a couple of aspects of physics. And it's fascinating, really. It was a lot of fun to sit there and watch. But I mean, she's blossoming. She's excited about this, and she's absorbing the information, and she's having fun and everything else. So she took this test and she failed it. So the next step, of course, at that point is to get with her teacher and figure out if she can either retake the test, or at the very, very least, do some extra credit work to make up for, the score that she got on her test. And again, this is just the first test of the year, so, they're not really expected to know a whole lot. They're not necessarily expected to pass that first test. It's great and it helps, especially if the test is perceived to be easy. But test anxiety will get you every time. Every time. So my Achilles heel is math. Always has been. I am dyslexic, which my dyslexia doesn't come out very often in reading. If I read out loud, I slow down. I read slow when I read out loud, because I'm making sure that I'm reading all the words appropriately, and that my brain has time to put the words together. I caught a glimpse of the dyslexia, not that I had the word for it at the time, but I was in elementary school, and actually I think it was 6th grade when it happened for the first time, and that was all it took. I didn't want to be called on anymore to read out loud after that, because it was a very, very simple word. A 3rd grader would have known it, but it was hyphenated. So you have the first part of the word on one line, and then it's hyphenated and finished on the next line. And I'm reading it, and my brain could not put that word together. You've got this one word split into two. It's broken down, but my brain would not connect it, and I was stuck. And mind you, this is 6th grade. I was reading at a high school level by 6th grade. I was bored with elementary school books by 6th grade because I was an avid reader. I knew my words, and I knew how to read. But it was just this one very simple word, and I don't even remember what it was now. But it was a very simple word. My brain just could not put 2 and 2 together. And so my teacher, Mr. Stevens, loved that man. He was amazing. The first most amazing teacher that I remember ever having was Mr. Stevens in 6th grade. I wish I could find him. I do. But Stevens is such a well-used last name that, I don't think I'll ever have any real success in finding him. But anyway. So, dyslexia with words started to show through in 6th grade. That was just the start of the issue. I realized my dyslexia overlapped into math when I was in middle school, junior high. As a matter of fact, I was in 8th grade. Yeah, it was 8th grade. No, because 8th grade my math class was in a different room. I remember it being in the science room, or around near the science room at one point. That was 9th grade that it was. So 9th grade. It's the little things. It's the little things, people. It's the little things. So 9th grade math. Loved my teacher. He was a pain in my butt. Refused to say my last name correctly, and it drove me absolutely insane. I corrected him for like a month and a half, and then I gave up. Then it was whatever. But anyway, so we were doing long division. Okay. Long division is fairly simple, you know, it's just subtraction, right? You know, basic subtraction. How do you solve a long division problem? You subtract, right? Nice, simple, basic. No. So, not to a dyslexic mind. There was this one particular problem. My teacher's walking around. He stops by my desk, looks at my paper, turns it back, points to, how'd you get this answer? I don't know. Why? He goes, no, it's okay. You've got the right answer. But the math doesn't add up. What do you mean? I got the numbers wrong in the division. But what I wrote wasn't what I was seeing, which is how I managed to get the right answer. Not that I knew this, because what I was looking at on the paper made sense. Because I was seeing the right numbers. I didn't write the right numbers, but I was seeing the right numbers. And so with my dyslexia, the way that it was, I managed to write out the problem wrong, but I still managed to get the answer right. Dyslexia. Oh my God. Yeah, it can be a trip. Yeah, but anyway, that's all beside the point. But yeah, my child's teachers had glowing reports about my child, which always feels really good, you know, and you could tell that they were all present in the moment, you know, and with the way that they were talking and interacting, you can tell that, you know, they're very proactive, and they know that the role that they play in a child's life is important, and that these IEPs are extremely important to the well-being and the progression of a child's education. And so, you know, we went over, you know, the IEP as it stood for here locally, and they're going to start doing assessments to see where my child is at, you know, by Georgia standards, and adjust the IEP accordingly. Now, I can tell you right now that there are going to be some things that they're not going to see. You know, because of the fact that my child moving out to Georgia resulted in a complete 180. Okay, I'm talking mental health, self-esteem, total 180 from the way that she was here. I mean, she is more social. She's making friends and going and doing stuff and applying for jobs and learning how to drive and, you know, all the things that she couldn't see herself doing here. Which is. It's not a reflection on my parenting. It really isn't. Because of the fact that there was a missing link, essentially. You know, with some concepts and things like that. And no amount of parenting was going to get through to her. And sometimes you reach a certain point where you've got to let them go. You've got to let them fly. And that's what happened. You know, she left the nest and now she's soaring to heights that she never even dreamed were possible until she got there. So, y'all, I am so incredibly proud of my child. I have spent the day in and out of tears because of how proud I am. You know, and I mean, that was just the beginning of my day. That was just the beginning of my day. The extension into my day was the conversations that I had with my child's father. Which, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, today it has just been, the communication between him and I has been so amazing. Honestly, it has been amazing, you know. I mean, we haven't been just shooting the breeze, you know, it's been talk about our child. Sorry, driving through a dirt road, basically. Not really all that fun. There we go. Oy, dusty. Fly. Anyway, you know, our whole conversation has been in regards to our daughter. And, you know, we've been talking about how proud we both are of her and, you know, how far she's come and all the growing that she's done just in the last few months. And everything, you know. And, I mean, he and I were estranged for many years. We both had a lot of growing up to do. A lot of growing up. Both of us. And, you know, Cosette reaching out to him, a child reaching out to him, has been amazing. It's been an amazing experience, not just for him, but for her as well. And knowing that her interest in getting to know him is all her, you know, has kind of flipped a switch. And it was like a light went off, you know, like someone turned on the light inside of his head. And it opened him up to become so much more receptive to communication with me, and I mean, I keep it simple. I keep it about our daughter, and that's it for the time being. I hope that eventually we can progress into more casual conversation, but right now, because it's early on in everything, communication wise, I don't want to push it. So when I update him in regards to our daughter or pass a message along, I'll end it with, have a good day, or I hope you're having a good day, or whatever. When I came out to him, I was scared, and that was the first time I had attempted to talk to him about anything other than just our child. In quite a while. But I felt that as the father of our child, I felt that he had a right to know about me being trans. And I felt that it would be more respectful for me. It would be a show of respect on my part to him, to make sure that he knew. And I told Kazetta, I said, I told our daughter, I said, I don't know, how much of what that you have told him. And she says, I haven't. And I said, okay. And, that allowed me to know better, what to say. The amount of support that I have been getting from him has been, I feel like I'm on the curb. I guess I'm not. It just feels like I am. Anyway, the amount of support that I have gotten from him has been amazing. He's been very kind with his words. He's been very sweet with his words. Which I should have known. I should have expected that. But I didn't. But anyway. It's just been a really nice couple of days being able to talk to him and, pass messages along amicably and know that I can talk to him and I don't have anything to worry about. He's not going to yell at me. He's not going to belittle me. He's not going to make me feel like I'm less than an inch tall. And that feels good. It's good to have that secure feeling again. So, anyways, you guys probably have guessed I'm home. So, I'm out of here. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Thanks for listening to my ramblings for the last 25 minutes.